3 from the bottom of the box on top of the paper. His dad had gone away for the weekend on a business trip, asking David if it was all right to be left alone. His tone left unvoiced the comment that even if David did express an objection, his father wasn't really willing to change his plans anyway. But David certainly didn't mind being alone this night when they would play the game. He felt terrified of what might happen, but he didn't want anyone else there to watch, no other outsiders. He reached for the long fireplace matches. Then he turned on the gas lighter below the logs. Hissing blue flames swirled up to lick against the bark. He drew a deep breath and closed his eyes. Over the past 2 weeks, Hexworld had gotten more vicious in its retaliation, going beyond subtle hints and turning instead to blatant displays of its growing power over the real world, showing how it could defeat them. Melanie's characters, Delrael and Verne, had gone on a quest to create a vast river as a barrier between the east and west sides of the map. As that had happened, the 4 outside players watched a blue line suddenly trace across the painted wooden game board where the flow of water would have gone. Then, in the battle at the end of the evening, the dice started rolling by themselves, bouncing up and down by magic. The magic they had put into Hexworld. During the following week, all 4 players experienced identical dreams, watching other parts of the game unfold even when they were not playing. The sorcerer Enrod took the Firestone and tried to destroy the land on the other side of the barrier river, only to be stopped by the death spirits. They had never played out that scenario, yet all of them remembered it. David had planted a creature called Skartaris on the map, a force to absorb the energy from Hexworld to bring it back to where it was merely a role-playing game where it was safe, just a painted map and made-up characters all put together for fun. But Hexworld reached out and played Melanie like a puppet. She bent and twisted the rules in ways that David had not considered. In secret, she had added a part of their real world into one of her characters, a golem named Journeyman, like another ancient character the stranger unlooked for, who had ruined David's first attempt at defeating Hexworld. But that had been before David got serious about his own mission, and now that he understood some things, he could use the same tactics. David cleared away the family room floor, making an open spot where they would play that night. It was his turn to host. The fire snapped. The earth-tone carpeting seemed to absorb the warmth. A gust of wind rattled the windows again. Hexworld was waiting. It was anxious to play, to manipulate them again. And as it became real by itself, Hexworld would no doubt come out to this world, the real world, and begin to play them. Hexworld would retaliate for all those things that David and the other players had done to their imaginary characters. He could not let that happen. David considered simply not showing up. If he didn't play, then the others couldn't play, and Hexworld could not go on. It was the 4 of them, the synergy of the 4 distinct personalities that came together to play week after week, that had caused Hexworld to come alive. If he didn't play, the same ingredients wouldn't be there. David frowned, then ran his hands through his dark hair, finding his fingers damp with perspiration. As chilly as it was outside, he still felt sweat from his own fear. This could be simpler than all his plans to incapacitate Hexworld. His attack with Skartaris had weakened the game greatly. The map itself was fragile now, and he sensed that Hexworld grew ready to use desperate measures. If he was here when the others arrived, together they would somehow convince him to keep playing. He knew it. They had always done that before. But if he canceled the game, claimed that he was sick, not too difficult since he had been having nightmares all week. Inside his head, he envisioned Hexworld characters looking more vivid and solid to him than any of the people he truly knew. He couldn't face another night of this. Before he could change his mind, David grabbed his phone. He would call them, tell them the game was off, tell them to stay at home. If it worked, the game would be off forever. A stalemate, perhaps, but better than an outright defeat. And the loser would lose all if they kept playing. The phone felt hard and clammy against his hand. He would save Melanie for last. She would be the difficult one. David hit Tyrone's number, but nothing happened. The call didn't engage, didn't ring. The screen remained blank. He listened but got no voicemail. He disconnected and tried again, but could hear no response. The phone was dead in his hand. Moving stiffly, David went to the landline in the kitchen. It, too, remained silent. No dial tone, no connection, no sound on the line at all. A shiver went up his spine as he turned to stare out the kitchen window at the slick driveway and the street beyond. In the dimness,